The Yeah We Know podcast. It has something for everyone.
I just don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't get it yet.
Read your history books, Chris. You're older than all of us on this podcast. Dudes always get squashed in their hometown. That's the way it goes down in professional wrestling. Edge is from Ottawa, and he got his ass handed to him last night on Raw.
I mean, it feels like there's this inside thing that I just not aware of or understand.
That is a perfect day one WrestleMania opening match. The Yeah We Know podcast. 3 guys who can't wrestle, who can talk in their basements.
Hello, Internet. The Morgan You Know podcast network presents Balls and Brew.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the flagship sports podcast here on the Morgan You Know podcasting network. I am your host. My name is Rod Morgan. Joining me, my rotating cast of characters, but never rotating, always producing this podcast, always producing every other podcast on this network, as well as hosting a podcast on this network. He's multi-talented. He's the glue of this entire operation. He's Jimmy Jamriska. Jimmy, hello.
It is NFL draft week. It is NBA playoff week. What a great week to be the podcast producer on the Morgan You Know podcasting network.
We just had a Talladega last week. Shout out to Cowboy Derek. I know he was excited about that. The PGA Tour season rolls along. I believe there's a game that's played with a cowhide baseball that supposedly moves a little bit faster these days. When the NBA playoffs slows down, I might be forced to talk about it, but that's a couple of weeks away yet. Jimmy did talk about the NFL draft right there. So if the NFL is involved in our show description, you know there is one man and one man only we have to have on the horn from South Bend, Indiana. We used to call him the anonymous gambler. Now he's just our handicapper of many things, including horses. I'm going to make him pick horses for us next week. But right now he's talking about what he knows well, the NFL draft. It's Josh Williams. Josh, hello.
What's up, boys, man? I got to do my horse studying this next week, evidently, then I guess. But yeah, this draft is tough. We made some money like a couple years ago trying to predict where Mac Jones and Trey Lance were going to go. And if you got in on the lines early, you were able to make money no matter how they fell out, first, second, or third pick. I'm trying to do that this year with CJ Stroud. I know the further he falls, the better it is for me, but he might be falling too far now where he might be out of the top 8 picks. So it's wild west out here with the NFL draft this year.
It always is. Quarterbacks always intriguing as far as the NFL draft goes. We're going to talk about those guys individually here in just a little bit, but the glory hog of the NFL these last couple of years, Jimmy, this shrieking violet up in Green Bay, he finally decided to allow all of our national nightmare to be over, and the trade was processed between the Green Bay Packers and the New York Jets. They sent another aging future Hall of Fame quarterback out of Green Bay to New York. Jimmy, give us the details.
Haven't heard too much about it. So yeah, Aaron Rodgers was officially traded, pending a little crossing T's, dotting I's and all that fun stuff. But the Jets get Aaron Rodgers, the number 15 pick in this draft, and also a 5th round pick, number 170 overall in this draft. The Packers get, for someone who said he never wanted to play for them anymore and wanted to play exactly for the New York Jets, the Packers got the number 13 pick this year, so they just flip-flop picks there. A 2023 second-round pick, number 42, 6th-round pick, 207, and a conditional second-round pick in 2024 that becomes a first-round pick if Rodgers plays 65% of the plays, and it looks like Rodgers will be number 8 in New York right now. Guys, I think that's a pretty decent haul for someone who was never going to play for the Packers again.
Yeah,
Plus, the Jets picked up, or the Packers picked up most of his salary. Rodgers' cap hit for the Jets is only $15 million this year.
Wow, that's good negotiating by the Jets cap guy there. But yeah, the conditional draft pick, right? That came back to haunt the old Indianapolis Colts in the old Carson Wentz deal there. So Williams, you're more the expert on these things. What do you think about the ultimate haul there?
If you go by this Fitzgerald / Spielberger evaluation of the point system on this on this trade, the Jets fleeced them basically. Or I'm talking about the Packers fleeced them. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 2024 second could easily turn into a first if Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps, and if he doesn't do that, he probably got hurt. So You didn't want him anyway. But yeah, I mean, I know 2 or 3 years ago he won the MVP, but last year Rodgers was only 24th in yards per attempt, 21st in EPA behind a top 5 O-line. He was only 20th in completion percentage last year. So, I mean, and boy, he's 39, and he's going from a top 5 offensive line pass protection to an offensive line for the Jets that is, you could argue, is probably bottom 10. So the Jets will probably use one of their first round picks in offense and tackle. So maybe that'll help. And he is reunited with Alan Lazard, Whippy. So
Peaches and Herb reunited. It feels so good.
It's so good. Yeah. So I don't know. I think the Packers did pretty well here.
All right, Jimmy, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What's success for the New York Jets next year now after this move? I mean, is success all the way to the championship, or is there another level that can be success for the bungling franchise that is the New York Jets? Jets go Jets.
So I'm assuming that the Jets are thinking that Rodgers is going to be there a little longer than 1 year. Okay. So if that is the case, they need to make it to the second round of the playoffs, I think, to be successful this season. Maybe the AFC Championship. Not necessarily Super Bowl or bust this year, but it's got to be second round, maybe even all the way to the championship to make it a success this year. Because it's New York, remember. This ain't Green Bay.
Yeah, I think Mr. Rodgers is going to enjoy that. There's going to be a few more reporters interested in what he has to say than he's even used to right now. There's going to be a heck of a lot more radio shows that he can go on than just Pat McAfee's available to him in New York City. All right, Mr. Williams, I think you tipped your hand a little bit there. What do you think this move does for the Jets in an already super packed full of good quarterback AFC?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, are they even the second best team in the AFC East? I know the odds say they are, but we could be getting a DeAndre Hopkins trade on draft night, possibly to Buffalo. We got the Jalen Ramsey trade to Miami that kind of went under the radar. They now have Ramsey and Howard, one of the best cornerback duos in the whole league, in my opinion. And I mean, the Jets are getting Aaron Rodgers. But which Aaron Rodgers are you getting? Are you getting the former MVP from a couple years ago, or are you getting the one who I just described last year? So he's got to learn a whole new offense. I mean, kind of. He is reunited with Nathaniel Hackett. Whether that's a good thing or not, we don't know. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's definitely an upgrade over Zach Wilson, but does that really?
It's a low bar.
Yeah. Does that really equate to a home playoff game and a deep run in the playoffs? I don't really think so. I would still have Miami in front of them, honestly. If Tua is healthy the whole year.
That's the issue, though, with Tua. Yeah, you've got to figure out if he's going to be healthy, and that's a huge if there.
It certainly
your
is.
idea on the Bills, even without getting that trade. Yeah, go ahead, Rod.
I was gonna say, I think with Rodgers, we're gonna know early, right? Because I think with him, it's all sort of mindset, right? The way the league is developed around quarterbacks these days, I think he can lose a step and still possibly play good. I mean, heck, we've seen Brady continue to go all the way up until age 45. You know, we saw Jeff George sling it late in his career, Warren Moon, the Steve DeBerg, right? The capable, it's there. But is Aaron content? You know, I mean, is he so out there with his darkness retreats and his ayahuasca and all the different things that he's into that he just doesn't care anymore? Or is he going to be ready to be like, all right, I'm going to show you guys. I got a big chip on my shoulder one last time. You MFers, I still got it in me. I think we're going to know early which Rodgers we're getting. Jimmy, do you agree with my assessment there?
100%. And you also have to remember, he's going to be a terrific mentor for Zach Wilson, because if there's one thing Aaron Rodgers is good at, it's mentoring younger quarterbacks that are on his squad. So I think Zach Wilson is going to learn a lot from him. But you're right on the money there. You're going to look real quick to see which Aaron Rodgers is here, the one who's going to be slinging it or the one who's going to be complaining.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of complaining. Mr. Williams, let's get to the draft. You said it yourself. It's going to be wild. Who do you think right now is going to be that first quarterback taken?
I think it's going to be the number one pick with Carolina and Bryce Young. Like if you asked anybody like a month ago, CJ Stroud was the favorite to go number one. There was even like lip readers out when he went to go meet up with the new coaching staff there. So, I mean, everybody's trying to get to these props as quickly as possible. And then any kind of little information just totally swings everything in this draft market. But yeah, right now he's minus 800 to go number one. So I think that's a should be a pretty solid pick. But yeah, after that, it gets kind of hairy with what Houston and what Arizona is going to do.
I was going to ask you, sounds like you agree with Stroud as or not Stroud, excuse me, but Young as the top quarterback, or do you think somebody else is going to end up having the better career?
I think Bryce Young is going to have the better career. He scored this awesome score on this S2 cognitive test. That has basically taken over the Wonderlic test on how fast you process things down the field. And if you watch Bryce Young play, it's no surprise that, I mean, if he was like 5 inches taller, we would be comparing him to Patrick Mahomes. He gets out of the pocket. He's unbelievable escapability. Bryce Young, it's just the whole thing with him is he's like, 5'10", maybe 175 pounds. So, but
is that even smaller than Kyler Murray? Like break it down for us. Is that smaller than Kyler Murray? Taller? How's he compare to Kyler?
Yeah, he definitely is not as muscular as Kyler. Kyler looks smaller, but they're listed as the same height. So we'll see on that. But man, this kid can make every throw. Like I said, he scored extremely high on this S2 cognitive test. And one guy who did not score that high on it was CJ Stroud. And that's why I kind of jumped in. I tried to get as best odds early as I could for him falling. And right now, if he goes anywhere between like 3 and 8, I'm fortunate enough to make a profit. Just the thing is like he could be sliding a little bit more too. So
really,
the S2 isn't the be all end all, but there hasn't been a quarterback yet that has done poorly on the S2 test and has succeeded at the NFL level.
How many S2 test years have they done though?
Yeah, they haven't done that many. I'm going to guess like 5 or 6 years. So it's a small sample size, but they have done a lot of quarterbacks. And who actually did get a high S2 score was your boy Will Levis, Jimmy.
Dude,
you love him.
Will Levis told somebody that a team said they was gonna that the Panthers were gonna said they were gonna pick him. Okay, and his odds went from like plus 4,500 to plus 500 to be the first pick. That's ridiculous. Can you imagine a world where Will Levis is first pick? Williams.
Yeah, he went from 50 to 1 down to 4 to 1 to go first overall. I mean, I think it was just some random post on Reddit that was messing around.
Those Redditors, I tell you, nothing but trouble.
I mean, this is a guy who couldn't beat out Sean Clifford at Penn State, and then he transfers to Kentucky, and he has an awesome year, in 2021, but then he has
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Then not a great year at all last year. And what he does do well is like the simple mundane plays, but you look at him, you're like, oh, this guy's going to throw 70 yards down the field, and you just don't see it at all there at Kentucky. You could say that he didn't have a great offensive line, which is understatement, and he didn't have the receivers. I get that. But like you'd like to see a little bit of down the field throws from him. You just don't see that. But he does do the small things pretty well. He did score high on the S2 score, so he's kind of a wild card too right now. Man, there's a lot of wild cards in this draft here.
Rod, I'm going to flip this on you real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
How many S2 scores and tests are done during an NFL game? Can I ask you that?
That's a very good question. I'm not entirely sure what the backup quarterback does during the game. I don't know how involved they have to be with things, but my guess would be 0. I would say 0. But again, I'm going to leave open the possibility that maybe 1 is done during the course of certain games.
And then just one more question for you. How did CJ Stroud put pants on at all or walk down the street with these horrible scores? He must not be anything, right?
Well, it certainly seems that he may have been propped up just to play football, possibly. Right? I mean, have we ever heard of anybody at Ohio State doing that before?
Oh my God, he hit it. Trae Young. Sorry, folks. Hey, listen. We got a lot going on Balls and Brew here. This is my fault. This is unprofessional, and I apologize. But Trae Young just hit a 35-foot shot to put the Hawks up with like 1 second left. And I might have actually just been a little ahead of Rod on that one.
Wow.
The
We're
age
gonna
of
get to the
streaming,
fast break
folks.
later.
My DirecTV stream is a tad bit behind Mr. Jamriska, so I did not know that was happening until yes. Oh, man, that's not
sorry about
ideal.
that.
That's not
Sorry.
ideal. The
Sorry
Philadelphia.
about that.
We'll get to the NBA later.
Yeah, so sorry about that. So CJ Stroud is someone who I didn't think too highly of, but then you see him play, Williams. You see him playing that in the final game, and he did everything you want a quarterback to do. This really goes back to a couple years ago when Justin Fields slid down. Zach Wilson got picked. Trey Lance got picked. Mac Jones was a darling. He got picked after him, so we don't have to count that. But right now, you do that draft again. Justin Fields is going number 2 overall easily. Are people missing the boat here on CJ Stroud?
Well,
He thinks not.
I'm a bit lower on CJ Stroud than most are. I know he did have a great game against Georgia in the national semifinal game.
And that's a team full of guys that are going to be playing on Sunday. Let's not forget.
Yeah, my deal with Stroud is that the Ohio State offense, they want to get the receivers down the field, 20, 30 yards down the field, and then he's just waiting for them to get open. So you don't know how good his anticipation is. And he's one who I was lower on even before the S2 scores came out. And I could tell that those were accurate because whenever he got pressure at all, his eyes would drop in the pocket. And that's what I'm afraid of. But you're right, Jimmy. He did show more athleticism than I thought he would in that Georgia game. So maybe we're sleeping on his athleticism. I'm just worried about his quick processing skills in the NFL because you're not getting 5 seconds in the NFL like you are at Ohio State.
You're not wrong.
And he had 2 awesome offensive tackles, arguably the 2 of the top 3 offensive tackles on his offensive line this year. So, we'll see. Andy was thrown to Jackson Smith-Njigba too, who's the best slot receiver in this draft. So, we'll see with Stroud. I'm a little bit lower on Stroud than most are.
All right, well, let's hit on the other glory boy, the other quarterback. You say wild card here recently. We say athletic, right? I think that definitely is talking about Anthony Richardson and Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson. Am I looking at this? Because I don't want any part of that. We have Gardner Minshew. I don't know why people keep saying the Colts need a quarterback. So, Mr. Williams, tell me what you think of Anthony Richardson.
Complete project. He's probably 1 year away from being 1 year away. His release time is extremely, extremely slow. He's not very accurate at all, but to say that he's athletic is probably the biggest understatement of all time. Like this dude, if he hits, he's got one of the highest ceilings ever from a quarterback coming out, but he's got one of the lowest floors too. So in a draft where this draft isn't that deep, do you take a chance? And what I'm thinking is a team that may have 2 picks in the first round with that second pick, maybe they do take a chance on Anthony Richardson, but you've got to sell it to your fan base where you're like, man, if we take this guy, he can't play the first year. He's just not.
For instance, if you have Gardner Minshew already on your roster, right? Come on, what are we talking about here?
So, Williams, what do you think about this Texans call of they get number 2, they go with the defensive line, either one is fine, and then they wait till 12, and I think one is going to drop to 12. I really think one will drop to 12, or maybe they have to trade up a couple picks, maybe with the Bears, to 9. Do you think that is a viable option for either Levis or Richardson?
You got your Bears as wheeler dealers all of a sudden, Jim. Your Bears are just wheeling and dealing left and right in your fantasy world these days.
Yeah, I don't think they will, but what do you think, Williams?
Oh, yeah, I definitely think that Richardson could still be there at 12. Levis could possibly still be there at 12.
I think so. They could both. I think they're both going to be there.
Well, who the hell are the Colts
honestly
taking then?
I think the Colts are taking Levis at 4, but I'm not very confident in that. I'm just saying that
I don't want any part of this guy. I don't want any part of a Kentucky player on the Indianapolis Colts. I'm associating that with men's basketball only, but I still don't want any part of it. I don't want, if this guy wasn't good enough to beat out some dude with the last name of Clifford, like the Big Red Dog, that scares me. All right. He
does have red hair too.
See, exactly. That scares me. I don't want any part of this guy then. Right. And this guy's the darling that's shooting up the board. Right. All of the early pre-draft stuff had Levis as the lower guy. And now all of a sudden he's the guy. No, man. I don't like that at all. That stinks. That smells. I don't want any part of that guy for the Colts.
All right, so then Rod, let's go here. Who do you think the Colts are going to take with the fourth pick?
Is there another overhyped offensive lineman from Notre Dame that the Colts can take and then overpay a couple of years later? Is that a possibility for them? Can we do that?
I don't think so. No.
Can we get another SEC linebacker that suffers a myriad of leg injuries and only pops in every once in a while? Can we do that? Is that possible for the Colts? How about
Actually,
a safety?
Those are safety. It's really funny because all the ones you're joking about are actually one of the weaker parts in the draft. So there's no one even close.
How about a safety that gets hurt all the time, right? Or how about a really, really fast wide receiver that you think's nickname means one thing, but it actually means that they're just never around to play, right?
This is a poor wide receiver class, man. Poor wide receiver.
Well, then I don't know then because the position groups that I just mentioned, those are what the Colts have specialized in for years. So I don't know what they're going to go for.
All right.
Sounds like it's not going to be a quarterback, though. A lot of people think it's not going to be a quarterback, so I'm baffled.
Okay, so let's go here. Bryce Young. Do all three of us think he's going to the Panthers?
No, I do not.
Okay, who do you think the Panthers are going to pick number
I have
one?
Absolutely no idea, but I just think that David Tepper guy likes to be a wild card, right? So I just think that we're going to see like the way Banchero, Jimmy, I always make everything about the NBA.
Yeah.
But the way Banchero kind of came out of nowhere, right? We knew he was a top guy, but nobody thought he was actually going to be the top pick. And then all of a sudden they're taking the card up there and it's Banchero. So I think that we could see a wild card. So no, I don't think it's going to be Bryce Young.
Okay, Williams, you think it's Bryce Young?
Yes.
And I think it's Bryce Young as well. CJ Stroud. I think the Colts are picking CJ Stroud. I think they're going there. Williams, who do you think? Who's going to pick CJ Stroud? I know you want money. I know you have something invested in here.
I think he could fall to 7 to the Raiders. Actually,
God, he's a Raiders pick too, isn't he?
Kind of feels Raider-ish. Yeah. Right. But here again, that's only because I've heard that the Colts like Levis but more than Stroud.
I will not support. I should actually pick Levis, shouldn't I? Because I get everything wrong. Shoot. But it would reverse jinx or whatever. Rod, who do you think CJ Stroud's going to?
I think he's going to go to who's the other team in the top 5?
We have
Seattle's
the
5th.
Texans, Arizona Cardinals, Colts, Seahawks are 5, Lions.
Oh, yeah, that's right. See the Seahawks. See, I could see the Seahawks doing the Richardson thing, right? They got Geno out there. Pete Carroll is a really, really good Seahawk. He's a really good players coach, right? Seahawks are good at developing guys. I mean, Williams, I understand what you mean about he could slip to somebody that even has more capital, but don't the Seahawks have a bevy of picks?
Yeah, they've got 2 picks. They've got 5 and 20.
Yeah, see, if I were the Seahawks, I'd take that Richardson kid. I want the Colts to do it, but apparently it doesn't sound like the Colts are going to be bold enough to do it. But if I was the Seahawks, that's who I'd take and not Stroud. So I'm with Williams that he's sliding.
Speaking of Richardson, I think he's going to the Commanders. I think he's going to slide. I think that there was a lot of pre-draft hype, and I think the Commanders, that's a Commanders pick right there. Who do you think
who's making the picks for the Commanders? Is their front office and stuff still there? I mean,
yeah, same squad. Yeah.
It's not the team
official.
fully sold yet. That's not official yet.
Williams, who do you think Richardson's going to?
Man, this one's tough. I can get on board with Rod there with the Seahawks taking with their second pick at 20. I also think it's a possibility that the Lions take him with their second pick at number 18.
Let's go. I forgot about the Lions being frisky.
The thing with the Seahawks, they're hoping to not be up that high. They got lucky because they got that trade. Is this the time where they just pick or I mean, listen, Jalen Carter on that Seahawks team would be amazing.
So there is a beat writer for the Seahawks, and he's pretty plugged in. He is adamant that the Seahawks are not taking Jalen Carter.
Okay.
But it's crazy because like every single mock draft that you look at, everybody has the Seahawks taking Jalen Carter. So, and he's the betting favorite to go number 5 right now. And just so you guys know, the Colts are the betting favorite to land Levis at 4.
Dude, as a 600 level season ticket holder for the Indianapolis Colts, Not happy. I'm just here, Rod. You should be really happy because Minshew's playing a lot.
Yeah,
If they take him there.
Listen, I want my beachfront property on Minshew Island right now. All right. I am all in on this guy. Let's get somebody that's designing an offensive system around this guy. Let's not say to this guy, hey, go win us the Super Bowl because he can't be that good. But let's say to this guy, let's be like Shane Falco in The Replacements, or let's be like Doug Flutie late in his career, right? Let's just show some people that, hey, man, I'm a little bit better than you think, and we can have this team a little bit plucky. That's all I want to see out of the Indianapolis Colts. That's it. I think this talk of bringing in a franchise-changing quarterback through trade is ridiculous because you don't park a Maserati in the driveway when you live in the trailer park. So I just think the Colts need to be realistic of who they are, and I don't want Will Levis and have some balls, Irsay, and draft Richardson. This kid could end up being the most amazing quarterback we've ever seen, or he could be as bad as Jeff George was, but you've done that before, so don't be afraid.
Any other nuggets on the draft, Williams?
I did place a bet like 2 weeks ago on.
Here we go, Jimmy. This could be money for our listeners. A bet that Williams has already done. These pay off better than the ones he says on the pod.
That's weird. Yeah, because you hardly ever tell us what you actually do.
The first two quarterbacks taken at that point, it was huge favorite was Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. I decided to go with Bryce Young and Will Levis. That doesn't mean that the Colts have to take Levis. Somebody could trade up to 2. Maybe the Raiders. I've heard the Raiders like Levis too.
Texans can take Levis. Anybody
could take Levis. But I got that at 28-1. That's down to like plus 160 now. So this is what's so tough about getting on the pod and telling everybody what odds, what bets I place, because those numbers are long gone by now, so that's what's tough about giving out picks on the pod.
Listen,
like
we need to be a little bit more active on social media as it is, right? You can start letting us know, as you're making these bets sometimes, right? The Williams special for the week, and we can get it out on a certain day. We can do these things, Williams. There's ways that we can do this in the ever connected world in 2023, my friend.
Williams has a flip phone, just so you know.
That's
just
true.
So you know.
That's true, which is better than Chris's tin can phone, which was malfunctioning this evening, which is why when Chris was not with us, and he's normally one here with us on the Balls and Brew crew. But Mr. Williams, you, I know, like chopping up raw numbers, and we will have all the raw numbers of who got picked, who moved up, what trades happened, all of that stuff. We will go over that with you next week, and we will even go over some horses. And don't be acting like I just sprung that on you today. I told you like a week ago I was going to be looking at you for some horses. So you've had some time, my friend, to do some studying. You're pretty good with the handicap, and I have faith in you. But just because you do seem a little bit nervous, I have somebody else coming in who's an experienced horseman as well. So
Sweet.
2 different people with some good Derby thoughts for everybody next week as well.
Sweet. Awesome.
All right, but we'll let you go now because we don't want you out of your depth in the NBA. Jimmy and I got a lot of NBA playoff stuff to chop up here.
All right, I got one stat for you.
Oh, okay, nice. A little Williams on the way out. Circle back stat of the week.
Let's go.
I got an NBA stat for you guys.
Of course.
This goes back to last year. The Memphis Grizzlies have now lost 24 straight games on the road as dogs. They haven't won a single game this year when they've closed as a road dog. That is insane. How is that possible? They are the 2 seed in the West, and they've lost their last 24 games as road dogs. I mean, that's immaturity there, man.
Not road dog. That's a different podcast.
Hey-o. Can you say front runner though, Williams? That's your answer about the Memphis Grizzlies, my friend. But we're going to get to that in the fast break, which is hosted by one Jimmy Jamriska, coming up on the other side.
Welcome to the Fast Break, the fastest 15 minutes in the NBA. It's Balls and Brew. It's me. It's Rod. Old man Chris is sleeping. We are excited. And if you listen to the first half of this episode, you know how excited I was when Trae Young hit a huge 3-pointer to put the Hawks up with about 3 seconds left, and they won the game. Celtics. Huge loss here, Rod. They really needed to put him away. No DeJounte Murray. He was out for bumping a ref. No excuse here to lose this game. What's going on in the East, man?
Listen, I'll tell you one thing about the Celtics, all right? And this is the Rod tip for everybody out there listening, okay? When you were watching the Celtics and the ball starts getting sticky, okay, meaning we are not winging that ball around. We are not having guys cut. We are not forcing it from one side of the court to the other. Things start to go very, very badly for the Celtics. And it starts to become your turn, my turn, between the Jays. Marcus Smart then gets a little bit mad that he's doing all the dirty work stuff and not getting an opportunity to do something. Robert Williams is so big and he's rolling to the rim. You think you got to pass to him every once in a while. And then next thing you know, you're discombobulated. And the only guy who can do anything is Derek White. Derek White almost saved the Celtics bacon again in this game because he's the third best player for him. But I'm a little nervous here because that Atlanta crowd is going to be fired up. I got a feeling the Hawks are winning game 6 here, Jimmy, and forcing the Celtics to a 7-game series when they absolutely can't afford it with Philly sitting there waiting on them.
You know, you had a chance with Trae Young being so god awful and DeJounte Murray wasn't even in the game. I don't understand how you don't close this out and how important that was if you're a Celtics player. And yeah, you're right. They did not play very well coming down the stretch. They were up pretty big at one point, but like every single NBA game ever, you're up 30 and it comes down to the last shot. Usually we go to the Kings next, but I'm hearing some music in the back in my yep, that's it. It's the Raw Damnation of the week.
We have to do something about this situation. The momentum is dying.
I don't understand no more distractions.
But I do believe we should all follow one path in life.
Hubris and ego and pride. Sorry, all that was a complete lie. Well, I love that we just came out of Hawks Celtics talk there because I actually got a quick double barrel, quick Rod Damnation for 3 different people here. First off, we're going to start with DeJounte Murray. All right. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're approaching a referee in a threatening manner. What were you going to do? You're going to fight the referee in the arena in front of all of the crowd. You're going to beat him up and he's going to give you every call in the future. This is the playoffs, man. You've been the best guy on the court for the Atlanta Hawks and you go to fight a referee after the game and get yourself suspended. Ridiculous. DeJounte Murray, you absolutely earned Rod Damnation. And the other 2, I mentioned it at the end of our talk with Mr. Williams there, Memphis Grizzlies front runners. Rod Damnation status is earned for Dillon Brooks and Ja Morant. Dylan, you've ran away from the media twice now after your whole song and dance of wearing shades, a button-up shirt unbuttoned so we could see underneath it, talking about you don't respect somebody till they put 40 on you. LeBron's old. You would have loved to guard him when he was in Miami or in Cleveland. Well, guess what? 38-year-old LeBron has given it to you 2 games in a row in LA, and you've been nowhere to be heard from. And Ja, you too. You got 45 in that game that the Grizzlies lost, but it was a bit of a hollow 45 because it was at the end of the game during garbage time. And then you had a bad performance at the end of that game. And what do? You run off and won't talk to anybody either. You had no problem telling people in an interview earlier in the year when things were going great for Memphis that you weren't worried about anybody in the West. But now that things are going a little bad, you've had your situation where things were bad for you in the light of day out here in the public, and all of a sudden you don't have much to say, Ja. And Dillon Brooks, you should be ashamed of yourself. You look like a complete fool.
And that was a Rod Damnation of the week. And let's hit that Lakers Grizzlies series right now because, yes, here's the thing. Do not piss off greatness. Don't do it. Like everyone knew what was going to happen the second Dillon Brooks said that. You cannot say that to James. Now, James doesn't have to come out and say, I'm going to destroy. He's going to show you. He doesn't have to talk. He came out into 2020. Didn't even care.
First time in his career. Guy's 38 years old. First time in his career puts on a 2020 game.
Man, I hate to see him what he would have done if he was on the Heat. It would have been 40-40 that game. So you're going to listen to this the morning before the game 5. Listen, this isn't going to the Lakers are putting this away. I don't think the Grizzlies have a chance on this. Yeah.
I worry about that. I worry
home
about
team
that.
Though. Yeah, I know home team. That's the only thing.
LeBron. I mean, again, I love LeBron, and you know that I've been his most vocal supporter, basically, with so many discussions that I've had on this podcast. Wu-Tang is a certified LeBron hater who's come on here and tried to talk some trash. Chris is taking a shot every once in a while, but LeBron, he can't. Even in that game where we're praising him for going 2020, right? That was not the same LeBron when he got into the paint. And that's 45 minutes in that game. We're going to turn around and put him in a game in Memphis after a flight. I'm a little worried that we might see that fired up Grizzly crowd. We're going to hear Womp That Trick played an awful lot. And we're going to see the series be 3-2 going back to LA for then a must-win game because you do not want to see 7 games with this young Memphis team in their building.
No, and that's the great thing about winning, that having the home court advantage, because you get game 5, you gotta sneak one out in game 6, and then game 7, anything can happen for sure. It's the Lakers' depth, and I can't believe I'm saying this, from 6 months ago, but the Lakers' depth right now is so good. But Anthony Davis again got hurt, but someone tried to help him not fall down, and he got hurt and busted his lip open. I thought that was really ironic. Oh, I got you. Oh, sorry. I punched you in the face and you're bleeding all over the place. So we have that with the Lakers.
What about D'Angelo Russell, Jimmy? How much smoke should go D'Angelo Russell's way, right? Like, nobody expects much out of D'Angelo Russell, but I think we got to point one thing out here. Russ caught a lot of flack when he was on that Lakers team. And the reason he caught a lot of flack is because his inflated $40 million salary meant that the Lakers couldn't have a lot of other stuff around him. Nobody expects much out of D'Angelo Russell, but he's getting paid like $33 million, something like that, pretty inflated. And you're only getting 9 to 12 points out of this guy. Does D'Angelo Russell deserve any scoring here?
I think everyone knew what he was going to be when it was getting rid of one person to get 5 people. That's really what it was. So the expectations were already so low that he's doing exactly what everyone thought he would do. Not any worse, not any better. He's going to have some really good games. He's going to have some games when you don't see him play. I don't even remember what he did in the last game, to be honest with you.
He had like a minute where he hit 3 3-pointers in a span of a minute that were real big there late in the game. But other than that, he was pretty non-existent.
So I don't know where we are on that.
We got to talk about expectations there. Are we going to go to the Clippers next year, Jimmy, or are we going somewhere else?
Well, I was going to go to our Kings, but we can hit Clippers and Suns here. There's so many different things to talk about. I'm really disappointed in our Kings. We'll talk about that here in a sec.
Yeah.
But Kawhi Leonard, I think if you rewind the Morgan Podcasting Network, we've been saying this since day one. It's great that you're amazing when you're on the court, but you're never on the court. And I'm sorry. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on in his personal life. Obviously, a lot of stuff going on, okay? You can't not tell people you're not playing until the game before. Like, he played awesome, and then was just out. And then he's out again. And the Clippers have no chance without him. So I don't know what you do here, bud.
I like what you had mentioned, expectations there, right? D'Angelo Russell sort of gets to skate on the scorn I was kind of talking about, because we don't expect much out of D'Angelo Russell, right? And then the Minnesota Timberwolves themselves, they're not playing very well this year, but we don't expect much out of Minnesota, so they don't catch too much guff other than the ridicule for the bad Rudy Gobert trade, right? But this Clippers team, we expect so much out of them because of the literal earthquake, right? It was the night of an earthquake in LA.
Yes, it was.
That they got Paul from Oklahoma City in the trade and signed Kawhi. Okay. But they have done nothing with that. And then I mentioned Russ because he's on the brain. I want to tie him into expectations as well. Russ catches a lot more scorn for his subpar performances because we expect more out of Russell Westbrook. So that's why I, in turn, want to try to continue to give this man his flowers. And Jimmy, our group thread was hot. You were doing something else when this was all going on, but I'm sure you looked back upon it. There was a hot debate going on between many of us about, is Russ good? Is Russ not good? I personally don't know how anybody could say the guy's not good based on what he's doing in the playoffs right now versus the Phoenix Suns. But what are your thoughts on Russ? Because you point said you weren't going to give him flowers, so you knew I was going to bring this up to you.
He is doing what he needs to do. He needs to be the show because no one else is there. And you can say all you want about Russ, all you want. He's there, and it's just not the same Russ that played across the hall. It just isn't. It's a different team, a different makeup. They need different things from him, and he's doing the best he can. Now, listen, his shooting percentage still sucks. Let's calm down just a tad there, okay? He's still throwing balls in the fifth row. Okay, but he's playing hard. He's doing what Russ does, and he's trying to single-handedly keep him in this. And we'll find out probably not by the end of this podcast, because that's a long 15 minutes if that happened. But here's the thing. Leonard, George, one more year, and then a player option.
Yeah, which
you can't do anything with it. You can't blow it up because they owed so much money, and everyone else has seen them not play.
If you're Paul George, do you try to cut bait on that situation while you still maybe have a little bit left in you? Because we saw some good play out of Paul George this year before he suffered that last injury. Do you maybe say, you know what, I'm definitely not going to pick that option up and you guys got to get rid of me?
You know how many teams would love to have a Paul George on their squad?
That's what I mean. I don't think anybody would take Kawhi, right? But if you were talking like we got to spend some
What's the
assets,
price? What's the price? You're not getting 4 first and a couple swaps for Kawhi.
Certainly not. You got to understand sunk cost on what you had to pay for Paul in the first place. But can you spin him and get something? Because that new CBA that we touched upon a couple weeks back, the Clippers and the Warriors were squarely in the crosshairs of that deal. So they're going to have to shed some salary. They're going to, if they lose this first round series, Jim, they're going to have to do something, right? I mean, Ballmer's not just going to run it back again, is he?
Can you imagine this transition coming up? Everyone take notes, please. How would Paul George look on the Cleveland Cavaliers right now?
Nice.
How would he look on the Cavs as that third scoring option? Small forward, the big guys can just do the big guy things. George is a better defender, obviously, than anyone the Cavs have at that position. But the Cavs are in trouble. Cavs are in big trouble. And the Knicks are looking pretty good right now, even with Brunson not shooting really good from 3. I think this series is just a battle between everybody. There's fights in this series. I like it.
Do you expect when they flash over to the sidelines that you're going to see Pat Riley or Jeff Van Gundy on the sidelines for the Knicks and not Thibodeau?
They're probably there anyway.
Yeah.
Van Gundy's doing the game. Riley's probably in the stands going, yes, I love it, with the popcorn. The Big E popcorn. Yeah, we know podcast, part of Morgan Podcast Network, all that stuff. Yeah, I think they love that there, but you're not getting any offense from anyone. No. Anyone besides Mitchell and Garland.
Oh, Chris's boy Julius Randle has been atrocious since the first half of the first game,
which is good for the Knicks because they're up.
Yeah.
So get all this stuff out now. Go to round 2 to really solidify yourself moving forward.
Play the Miami Heat, possibly.
Well, let's go to the dude. Jimmy Buckets. I'm sorry. What a baller.
Oh,
I love him. Tom Thibodeau versus Jimmy Buckets, second round. Knicks Heat. Old school. Oh, I love it. I can't wait. It's going to happen. It's going to happen because Giannis, although he played, still not back, and they're down 3-1, dude.
Listen, I want to point this out about the Jimmy Buckets game, okay? He had 28 shots, Jimmy. 28 shots, and he scored that many points, all right? And he also scored that many points in a playoff game against a team with 3 guys who you could have easily put on the all-NBA first team all defense. I mean, what are we talking about here?
It's amazing.
Running around with the carcass of Cody Zeller. Okay. He was running around with one of the Martin twins. All right. Duncan Robinson got dusted off and pulled off the bench and stuck out.
Birthday boy.
Minutes.
Heck yeah. Hey, real shout out to Victor Oladipo. I saw that live. Yeah. Oh my goodness. That just sucks. He working so hard to get back. Yeah. We're Indiana guys, and all that, but really, I mean, you saw that. It's like, and it's over. That could be career right there,
man. That's a bummer for him.
I think that's kind of why he wanted to walk off, because it's like this could be it, and that sucks. But the Heat are really strong right now. It's the zombie Heat. Bill Simmons has coined that, and you can't sleep on them. They're like Michigan State. Michigan State in the NCAA tournament. They're going to the Elite 8. Don't just pencil
Jimmy, I got
them
a bold prediction for you, though.
Doesn't
I got a bold prediction for you. You ready? You ready for this? Milwaukee still wins that series. I'm telling you, as much as I love Jimmy Buckets, I think he can only do that one more time, maybe. And he absolutely has to do it one more time, I think, to solidify that series. And he's already had
3-1. So if he does that one more time, it's over.
Yeah, but he's already had 2 games where he was just insane Jimmy Butler playoff Jimmy mode. Certainly not 56, but
you had the Duncan Robinson huge game as well. Mike Lowry,
I wouldn't know. I'm just telling you, I think Milwaukee's definitely winning this next game. And then I guess we'll see what happens in game 6. But
that's tough. That's tough right there. Let's get to our Kings. Start off great. Had one of the best games of the season in game 3. Stuff happens. Had another battle in game 4. It's tied 2-2. Everyone's won where they're supposed to win. But Rod, my boy, Sabonis. I've watched a lot of Sabonis this past week. It's sad. He is not even looking at the basket. They are in his head, the stomp on the chest, whatever happened. He had one jumper from the free throw line because no one was within 10 feet of him. So he took that, but he's had that all series.
Yeah, he won't take it.
Taking it.
Yeah.
He's a scoring big man. He's a really good scoring big man. The Kings are toast if he can't do anything.
Let me just hurt my arm here, patting myself on the back, because I believe I tried to let our listeners know that it might be trouble for Sabonis to operate with Looney and Draymond Green on the opposition for him in this first round playoff series. And they have definitely done that. But you're right. Sabonis is the engine of that Kings team. As weird as that is to say, because Fox is clearly their best player, and we've seen him do some silky smooth, amazing playoff score type stuff. But Sabonis is their engine. If he's not able to work in and around the elbows and do secondary drives and kicks, they're in trouble. And what I would say that if we wanted to spin it positive, because we are the number one Sacramento Kings podcast of Indiana, Northern Indiana, and the coastal area of North Carolina.
Yes.
Keegan Murray has showed himself to maybe not be afraid anymore. And that could be huge in the game heading back to Sacktown, where they hope to light the beam for the third time in the series.
They also hope that De'Aaron Fox is going to play because, hey, shocking, a star got injured.
Yeah.
Apparently he broke the tip of his index finger, which I don't think you can really shoot a basketball without pain when your finger's broken. We'll see what happens. I think he plays, but you never know what's going to happen. That left, that dribble into the left, taking that jumper on that corner, that's not going to be good anymore.
Well, if you're Kobe Bryant, I heard this story relayed from the great Ramona Shelburne.
I've heard this story a lot this week. Yes.
Yeah. If you're Kobe, you just learn how to push the ball with your other finger in your hand just a day or two before the game. If you're Kobe, that's how you figure it out. But I don't know that I would expect that out of the NBA's Mr. Clutch, De'Aaron Fox. So, but it's just been crazy, Jimmy. The injuries, you're absolutely right. Kawhi Leonard, it's a bummer. We hope to see Paul George back if the Clippers continue. Giannis, we saw back, but how much of Giannis did we really see? Right, he was kind of walking around awfully stiff, and then he was out at certain points in that game where he wouldn't have normally been out. So it's just, I really do though. I think you're going to see still some series go to 7 games. Although we have a couple of 3-1 series right now, I think we're going to see a few series go to 7 games because you hate it, man. This series, this playoff as a whole so far, been fantastic.
It has been great. I mean, even when you have the Nuggets and T-Wolves have had some battles in this game where the Nuggets have just really outshined him, but then the T-Wolves keep coming back. I think injuries we would be remiss without talking about. The only sweep we've had right now is the 76ers. How about that? A first round sweep by the 76ers, and everyone is counting them out because Joel Embiid has a collateral ligament. I can't remember if it's medial, superior, lateral, or another long word that I'm not sure about. He's questionable for game 1 of the next series, no matter when that is, which is kind of scary that they don't know when that is yet.
Well, we're playing into Philly's hands by giving them more time now, right? Like it's certainly not going to be
huge win for the Hawks for Philly there. Huge win for sure.
I sounded the alarm though about Philly earlier the last week, right? Like
you did. Yep.
They're going to win that because the Nets were overmatched, but I don't like a lot of what I see out of James Harden. I like Maxey an awful lot, but I don't know that you want to he's the guy you rely on in a playoff series. Certainly not when we start getting into the Eastern Conference semifinals and finals. So I'm a little worried about Philly, but I'm also a little worried about the Celtics at this point as well, right? Like that could be another series that we thought was going to be closed out. And I could see that thing easily having to go back to the Garden for game 7. The Celtics, even last year when they made it to the NBA finals, they had to go to 7 games in a bunch of different series. It's just something they do.
That's a lot of wear and tear on those players. So before we leave, I have something that we're going to do here. We've had the NFL draft. We have the WWE draft starting this week. So you and I are going to do our own quick little draft here. If you look in the chat, we've got all the teams that are still in the playoffs in the chat. We're going to do a draft. We're going to draft our top 3 teams that we think can win the NBA championship still.
Okay.
I don't think I put the Nets in there, which is good because they can't. I'm gonna give you the first pick. You're the guest here, so you'll pick first. I'll pick second. You'll pick third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Okay. No snake draft here because there's 2 people.
I understand.
Your number 1 pick. Who do you think has the best chance right now to win the NBA championship?
The best chance to win the NBA championship right now on the board absolutely has to be the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the pick.
They have everybody still, right? We talked about the injury bug. It hasn't hit them yet. Murray looks like he's rounding into form. They're up 3-1 as we talk right now and could actually close their series out by the time, you and I are done talking wrestling. So that's who I got to take as the first pick, I think.
I am going to go see every other team is just every team is tough, man. That's the one team is like, okay, they're kind of doing what they need to be doing. Okay. Man, I don't want to do it. I'm going to do it. Damn it. I suck. Call me ESPN Jimmy. The Lakers. I'm picking the Lakers.
Damn it. That's who I was going to take with my next pick. So that's a good pick. That's a good pick by you. Like, listen again. LeBron
I'm
is
sorry,
old.
LA fans. That's on me because they're going to get beat by Memphis now. There's no question about
Nobody in Hollywood listens to our podcast, Jimmy. Don't worry about it. We're fine.
Hey,
LeBron's
we
old
know.
and Davis is fragile, but I think that's a pick you got to go with because other than that, the rest of that team is kind of young legs. So those guys can just keep getting after it and they play pretty good defense. So shouting out Chris, who's not here, he'd mention their defense.
All right, Rod, who you got number 2?
I think what I have to do here is just
Is there a
by
number 2?
yeah. What I'm actually going to do is just by the shake of when we're doing this, give me the team that actually is the first one into the next round of the playoffs. So just give me the 76ers.
Okay. We actually know they have the best chance right now. I love that. Who cares about Embiid? Right now, they got the best chance. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I am going to take a team that may not even get out of the first round. They only have 3 players, and 2 of them play most of the time. I'm going to go with the Suns. I'm going to take the Suns.
That's a lot of
know,
mid-range
it's tough.
jumpers. That's a lot of mid-range jumpers that have to get buried for that team to
A
win.
lot of Craig playing in there. I don't know if I like that or not. Don't know if I
Not
like
Craig
that.
from Friday, which would be great, but Torrey
No.
Craig, and that's not
Torrey
what you
Craig.
want.
Yes.
All right, so this is my last and final
Last
here,
pick.
right? Give me the Celtics. As worried as I
Yeah.
am about them in that Hawks series right now, and literally I ruined myself because I picked the Celtics and 76ers who are going to play each other.
Yep,
but
you
that's
did.
just
I
still the way
appreciate
this
that,
draft
though.
went down.
You're still going to beat me somehow. I'm going to go Warriors. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. Defend it. So
Chris would
apparently
be
I think
killing
the West
both of
is
us right
winning.
now. Chris would be killing both of us right now. Neither one of us taking the Kings.
We could easily, of our six teams here, not have either team in the finals.
That's definitely
Easily.
what's happening. You and I know that's definitely what's happening to us. Jimmy, you know what? I did a double-barreled Rod Nation, but I have a quick Rod Nation just for the NBA itself on the way out. NBA
Okay.
schedulers, what are you doing? What are you doing to us NBA fans on Wednesday night, tomorrow, the day after we record this podcast? Don't you understand that we have jobs and kids and wives and maybe a few other things to do? You have 2 concurrent double headers on tomorrow night. We have a doubleheader on NBA TV and we have a doubleheader on TNT. That is ridiculous. What are you doing to me, NBA TV? I love basketball, but I don't want to get divorced. Stop it with this nonsense.
Goodbye, Internet.